Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday to you. Thank you so much for joining me today with Fresh Start. I'm just excited because this is not just our typical Mondays. I told you for the rest of July, we will be having Fresh Start Live. And so with that being said, I have a very special guest who I'm so excited to bring on the show today. She's a beautiful woman inside and out. She is the epitome. Talking about live, love, laugh for this month, she is the epitome of someone who knows how to live. Facebook viewers and Fresh Start viewers, would you do me a favor and help me welcome my very dear friend and sister, the world traveler, Carissa Johnson. Hey, Carissa.
Hi, Charity.
So good to see you.
Good to see you finally.
Oh my goodness, you all. Let's just start with, oh my gosh. All right, so I met Carissa back in 2009. And it's been years, maybe just recently this past year, where we have connected. We're here at the AIM convention in Charlotte. And yesterday was the first time in maybe 5 or 6 years, maybe 7, 8 years that I have seen Carissa. And with that being said, she had not accomplished during that time all that she has accomplished now.
I hadn't even thought about it.
We're gonna get into that in a minute. You'll see what I'm talking about, y'all, as we continue on. So, Carissa, would you just do us a favor and tell us something, just a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Carissa Danae Johnson, and I'm from Nebraska. I'll give you the tweet version.
Yes.
Okay. So 10 years ago, I had a mild stroke. 7 years ago, I was here in Charlotte at the AIM convention. 5 years ago, I took my first teaching assignment to China, and 2 years ago, I returned from Antarctica. I think that's a good place to start.
Let me catch my breath. Did you all hear that? China, Antarctica. Listen, the only thing, okay, I'm not gonna go there, because I was just gonna say what kind of food I eat on occasion, maybe every Sunday. But listen, that's the only Chinese I get.
Oh my God.
Let me stop. But I mean, wow, that is so amazing. And let me just pause right here just to ask, if you don't mind my asking, how old are you, Carissa, by the way?
Well, let me count, carry the one. In 20,
Such a trip, go ahead.
I think in 22 days, I'll be 32.
Wow.
July 28th.
Wow. So that's just the tip. That's just the tip of the iceberg. That's just the icing on the cake. Let's just get to the nitty-gritty here. We're talking about live, love, and laugh for the month of July. And you're the epitome, as I shared before, of what it means to live. Carissa, would you just lead us into how you were able, I'm getting ready to tell you all what this wonderful, powerful woman has done. How you were able to travel to all seven continents by the age of 30.
Well, I am big on exploring what God has for me and really surrendering my will to His. And we have this conversation, and it's a one-way conversation to Him. And it says, I have a yes waiting for you. That's it. I have a yes waiting for you. So if He has a request for me, I already have the answer. And so with that, I decided in 2012, as I felt a pull for years and years and years and years, to the east. I thought it was East Coast. I was like, DC, New York, Virginia. Lord, I'm from Nebraska. Thought it was a big for me. But I kept on listening. And that's the Carissa, kind of flavor that comes out.
That's okay, let all the characters come out. It's fine, let it be.
It's still very much so me. God is multifaceted, right?
Absolutely.
You look at creation, you see mountains, you see deserts, you see castles.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
not necessarily creation, but you see so much sculptures, ice sculptures. You see so much that is yet Him, right?
Absolutely.
So within ourselves, we are multifaceted. Now, I didn't say split personalities, but we are multifaceted and so many textures to who we are. But I said, God, okay, you're pulling me to the east, but I continued to pray and I continued to seek Him and ask, what do you mean by this? And so as I listened, I heard Far East. And so that's when I applied for a position to teach in Asia.
Can you tell us just in a few words, just the challenges that you face. I'm not, you're from Nebraska. You've never been to any of these countries before 2012. So
2011 was my first trip abroad to England and France.
Gotcha.
Where I met up with some saints over there, the Kojic UK saints.
Okay.
Which was a surprise. It was just one connection from a pastor in Texas that linked me to a whole family, a whole network in Luton, England.
Wow.
And that lit the fire, and that's what stirred up the curiosity of God. Since you've healed me from this mild stroke, how is it that you want me to live now? It's the so what, now what approach.
That was powerful, because what you did was you got out and you traveled to one location, and just taking that step opened the door for you to put in that application, and then there you were in Asia. That's amazing.
And to even have the idea,
Right.
and
Because that's how it happens.
Every good and perfect gift, every good and perfect thing comes from above.
Yes.
So
yes.
if you have something that is good and it's pleasing to Him, the source is Him.
Yeah.
So you ask for more clarity. Faith without works is dead, right?
Yes.
So you can pray circles around yourself. Oh yeah, Lord, I feel you call me to do this.
Yeah.
And you can pray, and that's cute and all. But until you put some legs on it, it's not going anywhere.
Did y'all hear that? She said until you put some legs on it. So you can dream about Hawaii. You can
Dreaming's
dream about, let's start simple, a cruise, okay? But if you never go online, okay, we're talking about living.
Yeah.
Living and enjoying this beautiful world that God has given us. If you don't, start off with something, getting out of your house, going down the street, going to a different
That's
state.
adventure.
If you don't start there, then how can God breathe on that and cause you to go places that you never even imagined? So, listen, I want to know from you. Share with us, because you lived in a few of these places. Is that correct?
Yes.
Share with us just a few of the challenges that you experienced while you were away.
Okay. Well, I lived in Hangzhou, China for 1.5 years. So, of course, I'm from Nebraska. I speak English. And I also speak enough Spanish to get by, but it's not enough to get by in China. You know what I'm saying? You need some Chinese in China. So there is a language barrier, obviously. And that's how, again, important listening is. And surrounding yourselves with people who are at a higher level than you.
Yeah.
And that goes for life, period. So I was very intentional about surrounding myself with native Chinese speakers so that my ears could mature to the tones and the sounds.
Yes.
And so that even though I didn't produce it accurately, at least my ears were warming up to it, because when you are in a foreign country and that speaks a foreign language, it is almost as if you are hard of hearing.
Yeah.
And the only reason I figured that out is because I was speaking to a friend of mine who's actually hard of hearing.
Wow.
And we talked about that, and he said, it's kind of like you being hard of hearing. It made so much sense, because when I went to Saudi Arabia, and the language was Arabic, the challenge with China was simply the language. The challenge with Saudi Arabia was the fact that I was teaching at 2 universities for women, and we were encouraged to use English on campus. So my students in the classroom were challenged to only use English in the classroom. So if I wanted to learn the language, I would have to be extremely intentional on building relationships with the people in that country so that my ear could train to the sounds. However, as a woman in Saudi Arabia, when you're going to the merchants, when you go to the restaurants, most of the times if you're speaking to the natives, they are men that are working there. And so it's not encouraged for you to have small talk. So tell me about the weather.
Right.
So in China, I could do that with the merchants that are male and female, building relationships. So there was a challenge in that, although I could have developed even more relationships with maybe some of the teachers, but outside of the classroom, we were not encouraged to develop relationships with the students for obvious reasons.
Gotcha.
So that was one of my biggest challenges, was the language.
Language also. Wow. I never forget, and we're gonna move on. I never forget, I was following Carissa on social media, and it was Facebook at the time. Instagram wasn't this popular, but I never forget on Facebook, there was a situation where you posted that you were in China, I believe, and the ceiling collapsed.
Oh my gosh!
I never forgot that, because I was, and that's what made me honestly, you all fall in love with this young woman and And I was just like, oh my God, I'm praying for you. I typed that underneath, well, in the comment section. I began to type that because I wanted you to know that I was praying for you. So, you know,
my goodness, the fact that you remember that.
I never forgot it. So that I know, I'm sure that was a challenge because you had just moved, you know.
Absolutely.
There. And
I'm amazed that you remember that. And the reason, I'm going to give you a little background on that story. So on that particular night, I typically would have, I'll say it like this, a meeting in my home with friends to share about a book. And so on that particular night, the whole day I wrestled in my spirit. I just was wrestling. Something is getting ready to hit. Something is getting ready to hit. I felt it.
Yeah.
And so I canceled my meeting because I knew something was off and I didn't want it to affect any of the people who came to meet to discuss the book. So I just continued to listen, and I was led to go lay down and listen to a sermon online. And so as I was going into the room, the Lord led me to the end of the bed with my laptop. And so I was at the end of the bed with my laptop.
Yeah.
And the Lord said, just rest there. And I said, well, my pillow's on the other side. Why don't I go just remain? Maybe about 2 or 3 hours later, I heard a thud and felt a thud. Boom. And in that moment, the ceiling had collapsed onto the pillow where I would have been sleeping had I ignored the instruction and just gone.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
My roommate from South Africa, I heard something in the other room. So I ran and I was like, Audrey!
Yeah.
And it was gone. So times like those lets me know I can hear him.
Yeah.
And thankfully I wasn't injured and all the items or all the plaster and buildup and all that came on my knee.
Yeah.
That was the furthest it came, was to my knee, but I was not harmed
Thank you,
in any danger. I went to the hospital the next day. I was fine, but I was terrified. But he gives warnings.
Yeah.
If you get still enough, if you get quiet enough, he will give you a warning. God does not like to surprise you with the negative. He does every time in the Word, if you seek it. Any destruction, any disaster, he always gives some type of sign. He sends some type of voice to let you know it's getting ready to hit. Now, whether you listen, you take heed, it's on you. But he does not like to surprise you with the negative. He likes to surprise you with the positive. So my prayer daily now is, surprise me, Lord.
Yes.
Because I know, like a good father is not going to, bam, surprise you with something negative. That's not God. He surprises you with the beautiful.
Wow. You have a book out. What's the name of your book?
My book, it's an ebook, and it's exclusively on my site, 7by30.com, SEVENBY30.com, and it's called 7 Steps to the Seventh Continent, How I Planned for Antarctica and What Really Went Down. So you'll want to snatch it up. It's a fun, inspirational how-to. In all thy ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. In all thy ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. If you acknowledge him in all of your ways, I mean down to cooking. Let's talk about that for a second, just for a hot second, because it's a testimony in this. My mother is experiencing a miracle right now as we speak. Just less than 2 months ago, the doctor gave her a death sentence and said she has days, weeks, maybe months. So I said, okay, Lord, I'm petitioning you because you said that we can come boldly before the throne of grace to obtain mercy. So I'm going to ask you to be just and righteous in how you handle my mother's suffering. So he said I can come boldly, so I was bold. I said, God, I'm requesting you to demonstrate your sovereignty in how you handle mother's suffering. Whether you heal her on earth or whether you heal her in heaven, I ask you to heal her. Now, he reminded me that faith without works is dead. Literally. I never saw that even until this week. Faith, you got praying circles around each other, that's cute. But what about the works? So he asked me to ask him, what about the works? So I looked at my mother as she was taking Ensure, the chocolate milk drink. He said, look at that. Now look at the medicine she's getting ready to take. It's a liquid medicine. She's gonna take the liquid medicine on top of the Ensure. How does that make sense? Take it out of her hand. I took it out. I had her drink gargle with hot water first. He gave me instructions. Gargle with hot water first, then drink hot water until it is all clear. She had to spit it out, gargle and spit until it was clear. I asked her, how do you feel now? Amazing. From water. Then from that place, she had to take the medicine. And then she continued to drink hot water. Now daily, she drinks hot water in the morning. She has to rinse her mouth out with hot water, spit it out, because she's taking all those toxins, all those impurities that acquired throughout the night, spitting it out, then drinking at least 1 cup of hot water, and then she takes a smoothie with almond milk, no more dairy, it's out, almond milk or coconut milk, and fresh vegetables and fruit. She drinks that, has to sit in her body for 10 to 15 minutes, and then she invites the medicine. In 3 days, God turned her whole situation around.
Wow. Well, there we have it, y'all.
He is a rewarder to them that diligently seek Him.
Yeah.
Without faith, it is impossible to please God. That's in Hebrews. I'm telling you, He is a rewarder. The greatest reward is in the fact that you can hear Him, that you can seek Him, and that you can know Him. That's the greatest reward. Nothing else. Nothing is greater than actually knowing Him, seeking Him, receiving Him, and experiencing Him.
Absolutely.
That is the greatest reward.
Absolutely. Well, you've heard it from Carissa, the world traveler. She's praising the Lord. Come on, right? Listen, we both love God, okay? So, but you've heard it from her yourself that it's possible. No matter where you come from, no matter your walk of life, it is possible for you to step out on faith.
It is.
So I just want to challenge you all, no matter where you are in your life, to simply live. Live. I'm going to say it again. Live. Let's pray. God, we just thank you for this day that you have made. We thank you for who you are in our lives. We appreciate you so much right now. God, we ask you to touch all of us one by one and name by name. You know our circumstances and you know our conditions. We ask you to help us, God, to be able to enjoy this life that you have given us. Help us to step out on faith, to travel, God. Help us to step out on faith and to just be excited, God, to do new things, to take on new adventures, just to see the many things in this world that you have prepared for us,
Lord.
because we are your children. Lord, continue to bless our day and the rest of our week. Continue to bless us, God, with all that we need so that we can continue to enjoy this world that you've blessed us with. We will forever give you all the glory, honor, and praise. In Jesus' name. All right, you all, don't you forget to live. And as you are living life, please remember, don't let anything keep you from remembering that yesterday is not your today. Your today is not your tomorrow. God has given all of us a fresh start. Please, 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 whatever you do, live. Be blessed.